Nowadays video series on what life was like in the industrial Connecticut River Valley of Massachusetts. Today's episode traverses the American Revolutionary War veterans and the Ferry Cemetery. I'm your host Carrie, alongside your personal tour guide, co-host historian Robert Camus, founder of Historical Tours of Greater Holyoke. Robert guides you on an incredible journey through the Connecticut River Valley's historic sites and landmarks. Perfect for families, educators, history enthusiasts, and tourists alike. Step back in time as we uncover the stories that shaped this iconic region. From engaging narratives and ancient artifacts, there's something for everyone to enjoy and learn from. Visit holyokecanaltour.org for our podcast and video series, Robert's tour schedule, and to book your own private tours. Find out more information and make your plans to experience history firsthand.
Alright, we're going to find Revolutionary War veterans. Smith's Ferry is now part of Holyoke, but it once was a portion of Northampton. And there's 4 Revolutionary War veterans buried in the Smith's Ferry Cemetery. We're going to find them. They're all bunched together, so they're quite easy to find. And this year of 2025 happens to be the 250th anniversary of the Revolutionary War. And Holyoke Preservation Trust is going to have our contest this year around that theme. And I'm going to have a tour in Elmwood Cemetery and then a presentation at the Holyoke Library about the Revolutionary War veterans that lived in Holyoke. I'll tell you where they lived, what they did during the war, whether they were a Minuteman or not, and also what their family was like, if there's pictures of their houses. Only one house is left that a Revolutionary War veteran lived in, and that's one of the veterans that's found in the side of this cemetery. And that's Lewis Smith's house. He had 11 children with his wife Eunice. She's buried here. Now this is not his original stone. His original stone would have looked like his wife's. It was replaced with a federal government stone showing that he served in the Continental Line with George Washington. And he lived from 1763 to 1838. And has emblem next to it of the Revolutionary War, a flag and flowers, so forth. So his house still exists, and it's the only one that does exist in Holyoke. Although when he lived there, it was part of Northampton itself. And much of his family is right behind him. I covered this cemetery from a lot of different angles, and what I'm going to do now is try to find the other 3 veterans. So that's one for you. And here's the second one. Asahel Parsons. He was a private, and he served in Captain Jonathan Wales' company, the Revolutionary War, and he lived from 1738 to 1818. Again, an emblem next to it. And his wife is buried next to him again. Her name was Rebecca, and she lived out to 1814. And Rachel Parsons, their daughter, is the first burial ever inside this cemetery. Okay, now we're going to go to a little bit over here. And who do we find? Another member of the Parsons family. And he also served in the Revolutionary War. But he served with George Washington in the Continental Line that was started up by the colonies to get an army going. It started in 1776. And he lived from 1748 to 1831. And again, he has an emblem next to it. Now, his house and his brother's house, so Jonathan and S.L. lived in a place that's approximately would have been near the Holyoke Golf Club that's up here. The house is now gone, so you have to think about what it looks like. I don't have a picture of that one at all. All right, so what we want to find now, if there's 4 veterans here, and we found 3 of them so far, we want to find the last one, the 4th one. And the 4th one is right here. His name is Eli Day. His family sent off to war many different members. They sent to war 8 different members out of the Day family. His 2 younger brothers died during the war, Robert and Edward, because of the war. Eli Day, private, and he served in the Captain John Morgan's company during the Revolutionary War. Born in 1761, died in 1833. And he moved up to Smith's Ferry to get a better life for himself. Again, his emblem with a flag and his flowers next to it. And his wife is right next to him, Lydia Day, and she lived out to 1812. All right, so those are the 4 veterans that have served